I know you wanted to wait a couple minutes before we start.
Yeah.
But okay, cool. I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm really excited to talk about your journey and everything that you've gone through. And I think you're an amazing role model, and I've seen you everywhere, so I'm excited to have this opportunity. So
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Yeah, you reached out and I was like, oh, of course I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I
Well,
really
thank you.
appreciate it. And
Thank
I
you.
see what you're doing. And, I mean, I grew up, softball was my first and favorite sport, you know?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
so like I totally respect what you're doing. I love it.
Thank
Yeah.
you. What position did you play?
I played shortstop.
Oh,
Like
okay. Okay.
Derek Jeter was my idol.
That was mine too,
Or
100%.
number two. Yeah.
That's crazy. I had no idea. Yeah, so I was recruited as a shortstop, but then I turned into a catcher. So I love shortstop though.
Yeah,
Infield
but
is the
catching,
hard job.
catching, you're getting all the action. You know,
That is true.
so
That's
you're
very
always
true.
engaged. You don't have to wait around, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Um, do you want to start now or you want to wait a little bit longer? I think that we have.
Let's wait a little bit just so people can join.
Okay.
Is there a way to like pin like what we're doing? I'm not actually not that familiar with live. Like we could pin like
I'm
I
not.
don't know, like
I
Q&A
know.
or something.
I know. I don't. I've been trying to figure that out. I don't do lives that often. I only do lives of, like I really, like the opportunity. So it's like I don't know anything about
Yeah,
lives.
same.
But I can try to figure it out. I know that there's like, um, oh, so there's like questions. I guess you can. I don't know if it's on your screen too, but there's like little question thing that you can tap on the bottom right corner.
Oh,
Um, yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that.
oh wow.
So I think anybody can like write in the question there. We can
Oh,
answer
that's
it.
cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And then I also, on the story that I posted, I put the questions box. So I got a couple questions, but I just kind of I sent you everything that I kind of wanted to
Yeah,
talk about, and then we can just kind of go from there if that's okay.
yeah. Let's just flow with it.
Okay. Okay, cool. Let's see how many people we got on. Yeah, because the questions keep coming in, so that's good.
This
And
is
so are you from California?
Yeah, born and raised in California, Southern
Okay,
California.
awesome.
Yeah, I
That's
don't really see myself really living anywhere else. But how about you?
Yeah, I'm from Southern California, but I moved up in Arizona, so I'm out here
Got
right
it.
now.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
like, I'm on mountain time. And I'm like, what is mountain time?
I know it's weird because we're usually the same time zone, but now we're an hour ahead, so it's
All
like
right,
different.
got it. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I didn't know you're from California. That's cool.
Yeah.
Super nice. Um,
Yeah,
all right, well,
we get going.
okay. Okay, so obviously I just wanted to introduce you. I introduced you a little bit beforehand before you joined, but I'm really excited for this opportunity and thank you for joining. So I just kind of wanted to let you introduce yourself, tell your story a little bit. I know it's kind of a broad question, but if you could just tell us a little bit about your journey and things like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm Jenna Bandy. I'm a content creator, influencer, YouTuber, all of the above. Um, a little bit. So, I mean, starting from like just what gained my interest in sports, I grew up with an older brother who he's now a professional baseball player. He's played in the majors with the Angels and the Brewers, and so
Okay.
growing up, whenever he needed someone to play catch with, it was his little sister.
Yeah.
I have a twin brother,
Okay.
and everyone says that like we switched brains in the womb. I took all the athleticism, and he's more like performing arts, you know.
Right.
And I also have an older sister, so I'm one of four. Never a dull moment. Always active, riding bikes, throwing the football, shooting basketball. You know, like
Yeah.
so. He really, I credit a lot of just my like my skill set and just my competitive edge
Yeah.
to my big brother Jet. He would never let me win, and to my face he's always trash talking, but I guess behind my back he's like, yeah, Jenna, that my little sister, like she's nothing to play with kind of thing. Like he'd always, it was that type of
Yeah.
brother
You're
sister
like,
but softball was my first sport. Love softball. I played softball varsity softball as a freshman in high school,
Oh,
and I
awesome.
played varsity basketball as a freshman in high school. So
That's crazy.
loved both sports. I was good at both of them, and I was really unsure what I was going to do for college, you know. And it wasn't until like junior year that I was like, if I stop playing this sport, I'm going to miss it more. So I felt playing basketball, I had more fun. I'm more up tempo. I just felt like you can redeem yourself a lot more than in
Right.
softball. I mean, you know, like if you boot a ball at shortstop, you know, you don't know if you're gonna get a ground ball all day again, you know. So you could be the
Yeah.
best, but it's kind of like based off a chance. Whereas in basketball, you could go grab a rebound, you could steal the ball, you could redeem yourself so many times. You have so many more chances at redemption, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But right before my senior year in high school, I tore my ACL.
Oh,
I was playing pickup at Pepperdine University with a friend, and I tore my ACL, and you know, so I didn't play my senior year of basketball or softball. And my D1 offers were like, see you later. I really wanted to go to UC Santa Barbara, and I went on an unofficial there. And you know, I had smaller D1s, and that's really where I wanted to go. And they said, see you later. You know, like, you know, it's a liability, and they're making a business decision type of thing. So I mean,
right.
thankfully I still went and got a scholarship to play Division II basketball. And they, you know, they recruited me at Cal State Monterey Bay is where I went on a bum knee. You know, it was a real like big shock
That's
to my
crazy.
ego in a sense. Like growing up, I'm sure you were the girl in all county, you know, in the state or just in your area that's like, you know, you're being talked up. You're expected to go somewhere big, go D1,
Right.
and you know, like I didn't get to do that. And it was like, all right, like swallow that pill, that pride, you know,
Right.
and and still be thankful that you get to go to like a 4 year and play the sport that you love, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I played at Cal State Monterey Bay, Division II, and my third year, my junior year, I ended up tearing my other ACL.
Oh my goodness. That's
So I tore
crazy.
both my ACLs, and you know, mom and dad are kind of like, Jenna, you should probably start thinking about other stuff than basketball, and really kind of chalk it up, like fulfill your athletic eligibility, but start thinking about other like a career. You know, you want to be able to walk when you're older, and you know, like your knees. You know, I have two bad knees, and the joke was, people would call me Jenna Bad Knee
Oh
instead of
no.
Bandy Bad Knee. It was
Oh
pretty.
my goodness.
It was, um,
That's
yeah.
that's crazy.
So you know, graduated college, and I started pursuing sideline sports reporting.
Okay.
I went to school for communications, and I worked at the ESPYS and Special Olympics for ESPN. So I was just like a little runner, you know, like I was just getting people's coffee, networking,
Right.
connecting with people. And you know, I live a good hour or so away from LA, and so like I was like, okay, I got to make that commute, you know. And in that meantime of connecting and really trying to pursue the sideline sports reporting thing, where you
Mm-hmm.
know it's like you start from the ground up, you know.
Yeah.
So I was approached with coaching at a local high school, at a rival high school of mine.
Oh
And
wow.
I was like, you know, I've never coached before.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really trying to pursue this other career. But I thought about it, I prayed about it, and I'm like, all right, sideline sports reporting.
Yeah.
Do I do that? Do I live and live out of my suitcase and just, you know, kind of just like look cute and report on things, or should I actually like help little girls and kind of show them things that I learned or wish I had learned in high school that
Right.
I didn't get the chance, so I could teach them that and have an impact. So I took the path of coaching,
Right.
and that was so I graduated college 2015. I started coaching like later in the year of 2015,
Okay.
and I was at Agora High School. I was a
Okay.
JV head coach, and during that time, there was a trend going on. It was get you a girl who could do both. That
Oh,
hashtag, like
I
she can do
remember that. Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I had a following, a little bit of a following, but it wasn't until this post that I started really getting a following on Instagram. I had posted the split picture of me on one side. I look cute, you know, I'm in a nice little girly fit. And on
Right.
the other side, I am playing basketball. and that picture just started um, getting reposted,
Yeah.
and it even got made into a meme. It was like, first she'll break your heart, then she'll break your ankles.
That's crazy. Social media is crazy, you
I
know.
know. And so I just like, I was like, oh, okay, like people like that. And then I posted, the next post I posted was a compilation video. It was just me like playing ping pong and then like hitting a softball, throwing the football, shooting a basketball,
Right.
cornhole toss, like just stupid things that I'm good at. Like,
Yeah.
in one video, just a little compilation. And
Mhm.
that got like reposted. And I was just like, okay, so I'm just gonna continue. That's who I am. That is
Right.
authentic, and I'm just like, "All right, I'm gonna
Exactly.
keep doing that." And next thing
Yeah.
you know, I have 10K, I have
It
15K,
just keeps
20K. And
going.
yeah, and during the time of coaching, I'm also a substitute teacher.
Oh
And
wow. Crazy.
kids, because I was like, I'm gonna do this. I could see myself coaching and being a teacher for the rest of
Mhm.
my life. Like I could do that,
Mhm.
and I end up becoming a head varsity coach.
Okay.
And so I was a head varsity coach at Calabasas High School. And then I was the head varsity coach at my high school alma mater, Thousand Oaks High School.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm gonna get my teaching credential. But it was kind of weird because like as I'm substitute teaching, these kids are like, Jenna Bandy 21. And I'm like, no, it's Miss Bandy,
Yeah.
you know? So I'm like, crap, and it's just like, it was tough because being so young and being a head coach and, you know,
Mhm.
I'm still like hip in a sense, like to these kids, and it's like
Right.
any disagreement with playing time, um, my disciplinary like strategies and concepts, it was
Mhm.
just a direct threat to like my social media and how I look, how young I am, and all
Right.
this, and it was pretty tough because my intention is to just really teach and impact and influence these girls in a way. I understand maybe not all of you are going to go and play college ball, but I want to teach you about hard work
Right.
and
Exactly.
habits and discipline and integrity. Don't show up late, stuff like that, and
Right. Exactly.
difficult because it's like they kind of wanted someone to just roll the ball out. And coming from college, I wasn't, that wasn't me. So
Right.
I ended up saying, maybe high school coaching isn't for me.
Okay.
And I also then I went and I was an assistant junior college coach. And it was
Okay.
kind of nice because when I'm an assistant and I'm at a junior college, there's no parents to deal with, and
Right.
the target's not on my back. Now I could actually just have fun coaching and doing
Yeah.
skill work and stuff.
Right.
And I hadn't gotten a brand deal yet. I was getting invited to like celebrity influencer basketball games, and I played in Baron Davis's Black Santa charity
That's
event.
awesome.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, like I then it was 2019 when my friend was like, come and do some YouTube videos on my channel. And his name is Josh Horton, and he was like, Jenna, you really need to start like your own YouTube channel. Like, you can make
Yeah.
monthly income. I just bought this amazing house over here. Like it's feasible.
Right.
It was kind of like, I'm sure you kind of have felt this as well. Like the stigma of influencer,
Yes.
it's not something that I was like proud to say. I would always be like, I'm a coach, and then I kind of am also an influencer.
Right. Yeah. That's how I feel too. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's like it's people didn't get it, especially just a few years ago. People didn't really. It was just kind of like, oh, you're a sellout, or you're fake talent. You're just,
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
type of
Yeah.
thing. And so I got a YouTube. I started posting on my YouTube channel, and that was growing. And so, especially when the pandemic hit, coaching was very inconsistent. Oh, we got to get a
Right.
COVID test. Oh, we can only practice outside, only twice a week. And I was like,
Yeah.
I need to like pay bills and stuff, And so
Right.
I fully committed to being a content creator, influencer, YouTuber.
Yeah.
I want to say like middle of 2020,
Okay.
and that's when I finally, I told my mom and dad, I'm like, hey, I'm dropping out of my teaching credential. I'm gonna be a YouTuber, and they're just like, they don't get it, you know what I mean?
Yep, I
They
know.
don't get it, and it's just kind of like, all right, well, I had to like prove it to them that this is actually something that people are doing for a job. It's a real career,
Exactly. Yeah.
And from then on, I had got a Guinness World Record in farthest female football throw into a target.
It's amazing.
Um, I have won 3 House of Highlights events: basketball, knockout, race car, go-kart driving,
It's
and then
crazy.
another game of horse. And, I get brand deals, and it's just kind of been all coming to me now that I have put 2 feet in. When you commit yourself to something, um, and you're putting full effort into it, it's gonna come back to you.
Exactly.
And although it was kind of like a tough thing to like take pride in, it makes sense. We're only young once, doing the influencing thing. It's best when you're younger doing it. I can always go back to coaching, and I
Right,
think
right.
even in the near future, I'm going to put my coaching and kind of mesh it in with my content as well, because I do miss that. I miss the teaching and that type of impact.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's where I'm at now. I am a full on, that's what I'm doing every day. I'm waking up, I'm thinking of new ideas, I'm
Right.
collaborating with people,
Mhm.
seeing what's the next milestone for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, everything that you're saying is just, it's so powerful and so impactful. So, like how you were saying in the beginning, how you have older brothers. I have 2 older brothers, and one of them is in the minors for baseball. And then
Oh
my
wow.
other brother, yeah, my other brother is an artist, a graphic designer. So it's like I can kind of relate to you
you
on that part.
you got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, exactly. So when you said that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it
But
makes
yeah, yeah, I can definitely relate to you about like older brothers pushing you to be your best and like always being your biggest supporter, but on the other side, they're like they want you to be as good as you can be. So,
yeah.
um, I can definitely relate to you on that part of it. But that's I didn't know that you tore both ACLs. That's had to
Yeah.
have been like really hard, like mentally, just like crazy to go to. Because like you were saying, like when I was growing up, my dad, just a little backstory, my dad has a gym, and I kind of like grew up there working out, just kind of trying, being pushed by different athletes around me.
Yeah.
And so like I did have that stigma of being like, okay, like you need to go to D1, like you need to do this, and it was always like a stress like impact on me, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, so I worked my hardest and stuff like that. But I was always the underdog, so I never had that like big name to kind of show myself. So I had to like
Mm.
work as hard as I possibly could, you know. So that's like what my like social media is. I'm trying to just like push people to be the best they can, but like you need to work, you know, to have it pay off. Kind of like what you're saying, when you commit to something, like
Yeah.
you're gonna get the payout eventually. So just that was kind of on a tangent, but just like
No, you're
um,
good.
going back, maybe like how would you like be comfortable sharing on like how you kind of overcame tearing both ACLs and kind of like
Mm.
what your thought process and like what you kind of had to go through there?
Man, I remember when I tore my ACL, like it didn't hurt. The first one didn't hurt. The second
Really?
one, I screamed and was crying. But the
Oh,
first one, I was 16 years old, and I
mhm.
remember I did it. I didn't think anything of it. I thought it maybe a little sprain.
Right.
Got it checked, for sure torn. And I was devastated, and I just remember it was the end of the world for me.
Yeah.
Like senior year, you're supposed to go out with a bang. And then what about college? It's just like you ask why, you just wonder what's to come.
Mhm.
And it was devastating. But, like I'll tell you this. I remember talking to the Division 2 coaches, and they were telling me how they feel I'm going to come back stronger, and better because of how I was talking to them. They felt in the way that in on my official visits and on the phone that like my attitude was so positive and so like determined to get back. Of
Right.
course, at first I'm devastated, but then it's like, okay, you either choose to be better or
Mhm.
bitter, and what are you gonna choose? So
Exactly.
they had faith in me, and honestly, them telling me that they felt that way, it also gave me that little like, yeah, I am gonna come back strong, you know, and just the fact that it was my attitude that really made them bet on me,
Hmm.
it has a lot to say. You know, coaches to this day, it's all about your attitude, your
Yeah.
body language, how great of a teammate are you going to be, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So for me, like how I overcome it, I remember I got my surgery and then I was in physical therapy and I did not cheat myself. I did not skip one rep. I I did everything I could to get back. I was what he said was I was the model patient for a torn ACL. I recovered in 6 months,
Oh my
back to
goodness.
full athletic eligibility for my right for my right knee. Like 6 months is crazy, and I don't have like
Yeah.
pro athlete like resources. You know what I mean? So
Right. Exactly.
but the thing was is that although you are, I'm sure people with injuries, although you are fully released to play and compete, it still takes you a little while to fully feel like yourself. There's
Right.
ups and downs. There's days where my knee felt great, and then there's days where I'm like, dang, it's swollen already. Like, so it's inconsistent,
Right. Yeah.
and it's it was tough and it's discouraging, especially then my second one. I kind of knew why I tore my first one. It was self-inflicted. I just I knew in high school I wasn't lifting any weights. I wasn't doing any preventative like weightlifting or just any type of jumping, learning if my knees go in or anything. You know what I mean? I wasn't doing any of that. But
Right.
once I tore my ACL 3 years later, 4 years later, 3 years later, I'm getting strong. I have muscles in my legs. I felt the strongest I've ever felt. And then again, my other one tears. It was just a freak accident. It wasn't unorthodox. I just stepped, planted, and boom, it buckled in. And that was probably more discouraging than the first one. However, I'm like, I know how to do this. I've done this before,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So that one took a little bit longer because I also chipped my femur when I did it. I
Oh.
got my patella and femur bone hit so hard that I chipped my femur a little bit. So that
Oh
one
my
took
goodness.
9 months to recover. But even
That's
then, you
crazy.
know, it takes about another 6 months to a year to really fully feel like yourself.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, when it comes to injuries, it's like sometimes you can't control them, but you can
Right.
control how you respond and the effort that you put into recovering. You hear a lot of people, oh, I could have been in the NBA, WNBA. I could have been playing pro. I could have done this if it wasn't for this injury, you
Right.
know?
Right.
And the thing is, well, did you cheat yourself during recovery and rehab? Like, honestly, I feel like I could compete with pro players, WNBA players, but
Yeah.
looking into how my life is right now, I don't want to play in the WNBA. I don't want to play pro overseas. Technically, I am a professional athlete. This is
Right.
my profession.
Yeah.
And what I do is I do sports. I am an athlete. So
Right.
it's the best of both worlds. I did pursue social media, sideline sports reporting, like the media, but I
Hmm.
still wanted to be more sports. So now I have the best of both worlds, and it's kind of like even just me choosing Division 2 or going to. It's about the best fit for you.
Right.
It's
Right.
what's best for you. And now, like for me, it's like I can get loose, and I don't have to like play within a system. You know,
Right. Right.
I know with my knees now, like my knees are good. However, I can't practice every day. I can't play
Right.
every day. Not for
Right.
that long as well. You know what I mean? So it's like
Hmm.
I could compete with the best, but I know I want my stamina, my arthritis, my sweat, like, you know, I wouldn't be able to do it. So
Right. Right.
it's the best fit for me, and that's what it is for everyone. It's about what's the best fit for you.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's wild, everything that you're saying. And I think like what you're talking about with mindset wise, like it really is all about that because I mean, I used to, right when I graduated college, I was coaching and I was doing lessons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you can like pick and choose to see like who has the strong mindset, you know, because it's like anything, like it's a sport of failure, especially softball. And
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
every sport that you play, it's like you're
If
gonna
you
fail
go
no matter
if
what.
you go 3 for 10 hitting, that
Yeah,
is great.
exactly.
300%
Right.
batting percentage, right? But
Right.
if I go 3 for 10 shooting a basketball, that's trash.
Right.
You
Right.
know
It's
what I
hard.
mean? So
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
failing more times than you're succeeding, and you have to kind of get used to that and have that mental toughness.
Right. That's the thing, like we were talking about, just mindset overall. It's just you have to have it there, and if you don't, I mean, and you're competing at the top level and with people that are, you're surrounding yourself with people with strong mindsets as well. So it's like you just have to have that there, and if you don't, it's going to be hard, you know. And like what you're talking about, injuries, like, okay, yes, it happens, it wasn't your fault, but like how are you going to respond to it? How are you going to come back from it? You know, like
Exactly.
you always have to keep thinking ahead and like pushing yourself, because you could go through something but you can come back even stronger, you know, like
Yeah.
just like you were saying. I think it's so powerful for the people that are listening, and I know that I have like some softball players that are definitely going through some like tough times, and just having you
Yeah.
on here speaking your mind and speaking your journey, like it's helping everybody that's watching, and I'm really really thankful for that. So
I appreciate
um
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. I mean, like your mindset had to have been just next level, you know, going through both of those ACL tears as well. And I remember my brother is in the minors for baseball. He tore his ACL his junior
Dang.
year in college, and that was the year that he was
That's the
getting ready.
year that the guys
Yeah,
get drafted. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So he
Dang.
went, I'm not going to say he went through the same thing as you, but like mindset wise, he was like broken, you know, but he came back even stronger. And you have to like,
Yeah.
you just have to dig deep,
You
you know,
have
and
to
it's
trust
hard.
that there's a reason, and you might not know that reason right away, but you'll find your reason through the process of it, you
Right.
know? And um going through that battle with injuries and trying to, dig deep into that mental toughness that you have to tap into, it also
Hmm.
prepares you for situations that aren't injuries. It prepares you for situations that you feel are unfair or out of your control, like maybe playing time. You
Yeah.
feel you're deserving of it. And so, what
Right.
can you do when you're in a situation
Hmm.
that isn't in your favor? Just
Hmm.
like an injury, any
Yeah.
situation that isn't in your favor, what can you do?
Exactly.
If you're a coach, this is what I like, and because I was a player and now I became a coach. If you're a coach, like, are you gonna be more likely to play the player that is pouting, that has a pissy attitude, and has bad body language, and is a bad teammate, shows up
Hmm.
late,
Hmm.
complains, flails their hands, or the player that's working their butt off, things aren't going in their favor either, but
Hmm.
they have a great attitude, they have great body language, they're being a good teammate, they're slapping hands with everyone. So,
Yeah.
and and you know what? Like sometimes even when you are doing everything you can in that positive attitude, sometimes it still doesn't work out in your favor, but
Hmm.
it's going to
Well,
eventually. So you just have
exactly.
to think of those type of things where what can you do in the situation that you're in to give you the most favor?
Right, exactly. It's almost just like trusting the process too. I know it sounds like
Yeah.
cheesy, but like you really do, you know, especially if you're doing everything in your power, like taking extra reps, going to practice early, staying later, you know, like eventually if you put your all in, like it's gonna work out, you know. And that's why I was trying to communicate that to my lessons and people that I train, and it's like it's hard to communicate it, but it's so true because it's happened to me, you know, like going to college, I was recruited as a shortstop, utility player, but they had a senior there at shortstop, and I was like, okay, like that's amazing, but like I'm gonna do everything in my power to like start on any position, you know. So like I worked my butt off to get on the field, and I was playing right field. It's not a position that I play, you know, but like as an athlete, if you want to play, like you have to make your way, you
Wow.
know. Yeah, so
You
it's like
switch positions in college?
I did, yeah. So like utility, like I've basically played everything, but shortstop was like my main position. And
Wow.
so like yeah, so like in college, I my freshman year I was in right field, and then I eventually like was an all-time or full-time catcher my sophomore year. So I didn't go to what I didn't go into as a shortstop, which is crazy, but it was just like I had to do because I wanted to play, you know, so I just did what I could to be
That's
on the
so,
field.
like, for one, that's so like selfless of you.
Oh,
Two,
thanks.
it's just like you're gonna find a way. You're gonna
Yeah.
figure it out. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's my position, but I could do other things. I'm more than just a shortstop. I'm more than just, wow,
Exactly.
that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you. Yeah, and I try to like, cause in softball, like playing more positions is so much better, just so you can go in and like prepare, just in case they have a senior there. You know, if you play first base and they have All-American senior there, like you're not like
Yeah,
just from
they're
politically
gonna have
wise, like
seniority and they're gonna have
yeah,
a little bit of loyalty, 100%.
yeah. So
That's
it's just it's good to be prepared. You know. So the
yeah,
same thing goes for basketball too. So
yeah.
it's
Did you
crazy
ever?
how like no. So I didn't pitch. I played everything else, but not
Yeah, because
pitching.
you want to hit. You want to
Yeah,
hit. You just don't
yeah,
hit. I feel
yeah,
that. I feel
yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. We could just do like one more question because I know we're taking up. I don't want to take up all your Sunday. I know it's to
You're
for you
good.
to.
I like this. We can keep going. Seriously, saw someone mention the three House of Highlights wins and to talk about that.
Oh
Honestly,
yeah,
yeah. So for one, the first one that I got hit up about, I was like, wow, I'm a lot different than all these other people that are in this competition. So it was for knockout, and they had Duke Dennis, MMG, Agent Zero. They had Supreme Dreams, like big YouTubers, big social media. And I mean, I was the only girl. I did
crazy.
feel I had the upper hand in like skills for basketball. However, they're guys, they've all played basketball, they could shoot it.
Right.
And the rules were like you could bump people's ball, like in knockout.
Oh
You could
wow.
bump and hit people's ball. So I'm like, I could still be the best shooter, but like if you can knock people's ball, it's anyone's game, you know?
Right.
And
Right.
I remember, so it goes back to just like preparing yourself and being able to adjust.
Mhm.
I had COVID,
Oh
and
my goodness.
and the date that I had to get out there, it was in Atlanta. I just recovered from COVID, and then it was 3 days until the event.
Oh my goodness.
It was 3 nights and 4 days to the event, and I'm like, I don't know if anyone has had COVID, but you feel really weak, you feel weird, you're different, you have a
Yeah.
weird cough, like so.
Yeah.
I recovered the day that I tested negative. I recovered. I got in the gym, and the whole contest was from the free throw line. So I just was on the shooting gun, just shooting free throws every night. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
And
crazy.
yeah, so I prepared for it, even though I
Yeah.
was like, I only had 3 nights to prepare, 4 days to prepare. Like, I still didn't feel like I had that much of an edge. But when I got, like, you could still bump people's ball. And I mean, I don't know if anyone watched it that's on this, but like, I won with all 3 lives. And I got a lot of trash talk. Oh, she's a try hard. Oh, she took it too seriously. Oh, she's a hooper. Like she shouldn't even be in this. And it kind of gets a little bit under your skin. Like, just give
Yeah.
me the credit for
Right.
preparing,
Right.
you know?
Exactly. And that's another thing like with well after you're done explain the story, but
Go ahead. Go ahead.
with like comments like that because I get them as well and it's like I just try to like block it out because it's not like that audience is not what I'm like aiming for. I'm aiming to like help the younger generation and like staying on my path. But I do get them, I do see them. So like, how do you kind of handle that? Like, what's your mindset with that?
I mean, to be honest, it's like I won. I won. So it's like
Right,
I remember the first guy I got out, he's like, Jenna's a tryhard, and I'm just like, okay, like
right,
you're just mad because I got you out.
exactly, yeah,
But I won't lie and say that it doesn't get to me because it does. I mean, you read your comments and there's sometimes it's like comments are like, dang, you're a hater. But to
right,
to be honest, like you just have to focus on the positive, like you were just saying, and just know that anything you do in life, people are going to hate. You could be the best, most genuine, nicest person ever, and people are gonna say you're too nice, you're too genuine. So
right,
you kind of have to chalk it up to like you can't focus on people pleasing, and just
right,
do you type of thing. And
yeah,
I was repping for the girls. It was just such a great like empowering moment, and
yeah,
then I got invited to do another showdown, and that was go-kart racing, which I know nothing about, which nobody's Jeff Gordon's little brother, or like, you know what I mean? So,
right.
but what did I do? What did you think I did?
You want them prepared. You have
I
to.
freaking prepared. They told us where it was, which is an hour and a half away from my home.
Okay.
But I saw that my sister lives 30 minutes away. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go out there, stay at my sister's
Mhm.
2 weekends in a row, and I'm going to race. I'm going to go race, and I'm going to learn the track, and I'm going to learn the go-karts. Like, I'm going to
That's
do that.
awesome.
And I did it. And like, I don't know if you've ever go-karted before, but I was
A
just like,
couple.
how hard could this be? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go pedal to the metal, and I'm gonna go inside turn on every turn, right?
Yeah.
So in these races at this place, it was like, so it's all based on your time, the fastest time. It's not
Okay.
about who finishes first, because you all take off. Like, it's not a line where you take off, it's your all
Oh,
row. So it's
okay.
based on fastest lap time out of
Okay.
12 laps.
Oh no.
So I'm in a race with 9 people, and I'm like pedal to the metal, inside turn everything. I'm skidding out like Tokyo Drift. I'm thinking, oh, when I get my paper, I'm going to see that I have one of the fastest times out of these 9 people, like, for
Yeah.
sure, right?
Yeah.
I get my paper and it says I'm seventh out of 9.
Oh no.
And I'm like, how? So I asked the guy, the worker, and the guy was like, yeah, to be honest, you have to slow down. You have to slow down on your turns. When you skid out on the turns, you're wasting time.
Oh
I'm like,
really?
okay. So I race again, and I'm braking. I'm slowing down on the turns. I'm like, okay, my ride is a lot smoother. I'm
Yeah.
thinking I'm definitely gonna be one of the top times.
Yeah.
Nope. He's like, well, how are you slowing down? I'm like, I slowed down. I was braking. Like, you told me to slow down. He goes, the best racers, they don't really use their brake. They just come off the gas.
Oh,
So
they
I'm just
coasted.
like mind blown. I'm like, oh crap. Like, there's a real like skill and finesse to this.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I came up to that competition, like, I had a whole strategy in place. Like,
That's
I like,
awesome.
yeah, and the whole time they were like, "We are Jenna Bandy. You got a coach. You paid $10,000 to get a coach. You got like, and the game is rigged for you. Um, like, that was in the comments. Like, it's rigged for the female to win. If you get the first slot, you're guaranteed win." She was coach. She had a coach, and I'm just like, again, with the like,
Yeah.
how about just tip your cap to someone that prepared? They told
Exactly.
us where they told us where it was. And there's
Yeah.
plenty of guys, plenty of competitors that I was going up against that live even closer to me, to that area. Why didn't you go?
Right.
You just thought you could show up? It's $100,000 on the line.
Yeah.
What would you do if you were giving $100,000 opportunity? Wouldn't you go prepare? Like,
Yeah.
to me, okay, maybe to them, maybe 100K isn't a lot, but like, come on,
Yeah.
wouldn't you prepare yourself?
Right.
And so I felt like, gosh, like, all right, so I'm gonna get that talk again, the trash talk again, and I won. I overcome, and I silenced them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then the third event, I played horse, and I'm pretty good at trick shots.
Yeah. Really
And
good.
that one for me was more of like, just go 3 times, Jenna. 3 times undefeated. Like,
Yeah.
just to be able to say that was kind of what was motivating me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's amazing. It's crazy. I mean, like the comments that you get, it's hard to like, keep doing it too, and it's like you have
yeah.
to come to a point where like what you're doing and like you just have to block it out. It's the same thing with like sports, like the fans that heckle you or your coach is on the sideline like yelling at you, like you have to block it out no matter what. But that's crazy, and congratulations on all of that.
Thank
That's
you. I have
you're
to
just
say that majority, I would say even like 97% of my following, everyone is so supportive, and
yeah,
it's more of the trash comes when I'm on a different channel or against a,
right.
you know what I mean? So I just want to say thank you to my fans who support me, because it's really all love from them. It really is. It's a lot of good support, and backing me up and being in my corner.
Yeah, definitely. That's wild. I mean, your preparation is definitely unmatched for sure. So,
Thank you.
that's crazy. Okay, so just one more thing. How we're talking about almost like social media, and now that athletes can kind of have like that platform. Obviously, you're amazing at what you do. So, like, would you have any advice for maybe not even an athlete, just somebody who's trying to like build their platform? Like, how
Yeah.
would you have any advice for them to just be like, how would you kind of go about it?
Um, I would say kind of what Josh Horton said to me when I was beginning YouTube and really kind of taking pride in being an influencer. He told me, Jenna, just make content, get it out there. Don't be so critical of your videos and all this. Just get it out, post it on all platforms,
Right.
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube,
Mhm.
Facebook, Snapchat, like just get it all out there, you know?
Yeah. Mhm.
And yeah, so, and also I would say collab with people, collaborate,
Yeah.
because, you know, their followers can, I already see some people following me probably from your side, you know, like it's probably the
Right.
same thing for you, you know?
Right.
So, um, just kind of dive in and don't be scared to put yourself out there. Don't be scared to try different things. Like, so, you know, I throw I throw out football stuff, basketball stuff, softball stuff,
Yeah.
trick shot stuff, one-on-one, like, you know, so just try different things and see what hits
Right.
and then keep rocking with that. Find your niche and also, yeah, like just don't be so critical of yourself and just post. Just do it. Just put it out there. I keep seeing TikToks and it's like this guy is just saying like you're one video away from going viral. You're one video away from getting paid to just post video. And I'm like, he's so right. He's
It's
so right.
true.
Because little did I know the day that I posted that split pic of get you a girl who could do both, it was gonna go viral. And
Right. Right.
if you asked me when I was in college if I saw myself doing this, like I would never
Right.
believe that, you know? But what's cool
Right.
about today's world is that it's actually way more accepted. It's way more like respected as well. It's not only accepted but respected and people get it. People get that it's feasible and it's
Yeah.
something to um be proud of. Like I've always I've always been aware of like how I portray myself
Mhm.
on social media. Like, you
Right.
know, especially being a college athlete, like you can't post the red cups and
Yes. Yeah.
you're, you know, just like but more than that, it's just like, you know, not being a sellout in a way. Like I know I could be tasteful, but I'm never gonna be more than that. I'm never gonna be just like the influencer because she's sexy and this and whatever. Like
Right.
it's gonna be I'm tasteful, but I'm also super talented and I have a
Mhm.
personality and I'm about giving back and influencing people and I'm gonna tap into that even more. Like so
Yeah. Yeah.
be authentic to who you are and be aware of the message and how you look to other people.
Right, exactly. That's, I mean, everything that you're saying is just amazing. And for everybody who's watching too, just like what you're saying about being authentic to yourself, I think that's the biggest thing because, like when I started off, I didn't, like, I don't know anything about social media. I have
Yeah.
nothing, you know? And so, like, when one of my videos kind of got some more traction, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I was like scared and confused on like what I should post next. And I was kind of thinking about, like, okay, like, who like what do I even post, you know? And I kind of had to like come from like my heart and like what I wanted to truly do and is to help like the younger generation of athletes just kind of like overcome different problems. So like as soon as I saw your profile, I was just like I look up to you as a role model for sure, and what
Oh,
you're doing, what you're doing, you know, for the younger generation, everything that you're doing content wise, just your overall personality is just amazing, and I'm thankful to have this opportunity to talk to you. And I know that everybody watching definitely got some great tips and just knowing your story and knowing what you went through and how you overcame your different obstacles. It's great to hear. And I just want to say thank you for joining. And I really appreciate
I
it.
really appreciate that. Like there was a while where it was like, you know, I just want to get brand deals and keep getting brand deals and make money. You know, I'm going to use my platform to make money. But
Right.
I have to say, after this, I had a New York trip recently, and this
Okay.
little girl came up and showed up to the spot that I was going to be at because I promoted it. I'm going to be at the park, I'm going to be playing one on one. And
Yeah.
this little girl showed up, and I was like, "Hi, what's your name?" She's like, "I'm Sophia." And I'm like, "I'm Jenna." She's like, "I know who you are. I watch all your videos."
It's
And
crazy.
so like she stayed and I signed a ball for her and like so that's what got me. I'm like, I appreciate that you say that I have been an impact and I've been influential and stuff, but honestly, I feel like I haven't even really tapped into that. I've been
Right.
entertaining,
Yeah.
I've been doing brand deals, but now like I really want to show everyone like the coaching side and like the impactful side. And I'm gonna throw a charity. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna speak at high schools. I'm going to uh like I'm gonna have merch and a brand that comes out that's greater than just, oh, the Jenna Bandy brand. No, it's
Right.
gonna be something that encompasses all females in sports. You know
That's
what I mean?
amazing.
So like
Yeah.
when you say that, like that, it honestly means a lot to me that I have inspired you, and that is the goal. Not brand deals, not to be
Right.
an influencer to get brand deals and to get money. Of course, yes, I need to pay my bills, yeah, but that's
Right.
not. I want to actually be influential as an
Right.
influencer, and that is something that I have had. Just it just hit me about a month ago, and I'm like, I could do so much more than what I'm doing.
Right.
And
Right.
so I think, Paige, you definitely had the platform already to be that person, to be the Paige to me. There's going to be someone that's going to be that to you. You know, if you continue, like, I love what you're already doing, you know,
Thanks.
just keep up with it.
Okay.
Seriously, keep up with it, keep being who you are, and it's going to flow. It's going to
Thank
flow right in your direction.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you saying all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely understand like what you're saying about brand deals and just like especially like the term influencer, it's all about like, oh, you're making money, like you're only posting this for money. And it's like
Yep.
that's not the reason. It's never been the reason, it never will be. So it's like you kind of have to come to terms. That's what I'm come to terms with now is like just going for it, and like truly impacting the younger generation. And that's
Yeah.
why I look up to you so much. And I can't wait to see everything that you're gonna do and you're already doing. It's amazing. So
We have to get together.
yes,
Wow.
yeah.
My big brother lives in Arizona.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay.
he lives in Scottsdale.
Oh
So,
no, that's where I'm at.
okay, see, so we need
Yeah.
to get together. We need
Okay.
stuff. Okay.
Yes, that's definitely super down for that. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome. You take some swings, get some exit velocities.
Heck yeah. I play in a softball. I told you that. I play in a
Yeah.
softball league every Sunday and Wednesday
Yeah.
night. Like, what?
That's awesome. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely get together for sure. But thank you so much for joining. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Of
All
course.
right.
Anytime.
All right. It was nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you and have a good rest of your weekend.
Thank you. You too. Thank you so much.
Of course.
All right. See ya.